Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Cannabis. Coffee and Cognac. Sorry about Coffee and Cognac. It's Friday. Sometimes we get confused. So today we have a little change of environment. Imran invited me over to his place, turned the lights down low a little bit. You know, wants to talk a little bit of real estate. Wants to talk a little bit of, about the future.
Let's do it, brother.
He really wants something from me. I don't know why he's trying to butter me up, but no, thank you very much for coming back, and we're excited today. We have a lot to talk about. Lots been happening in Toronto. Nothing seems to stop the real estate market. Pandemic, snowstorms, doesn't matter what it is. We are red hot. Imran, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Feeling good. Market's been good. Super optimistic. I'm about to go shopping for a condo soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you, brother.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Pre-construction condo, resale condo, what are you looking at?
This one I'm going to get into is resale.
Resale. Existing,
something that's already up, yeah.
Any particular area, location, anything? Anything you want to share with us?
The thought just came into my mind recently. So, I haven't really honed in on, budget allocation, and I'm just about to start my pre-approval process now. So I got to see how much more lending I can get. Plus, I have some other pre-construction units that I have purchased a few years ago that are closing soon. So I got to just make sure that I don't over leverage myself.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously, I want a great location. I'm thinking of Airbnb being the place out.
Okay.
And I know you have some background in that too, right? Your unit at Grand Trunk.
I did some Airbnb.
Your One Plus done over there at Grand Trunk.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking downtown core.
Okay.
Close to a subway.
Sure.
So close to Union Station, just like how your unit is.
Always safe.
Nothing against the building, but I don't want to get into ice building.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too big, but still, if I could get around on your street, Grand Trunk, or even on Bremner.
Now, I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but there are actually some condos in Toronto that allow Airbnb. It's like in their condominium court, like it's in their status.
There are.
That it allows it.
Yeah, there are.
So are you going to be like focusing on buildings like that, or
yeah? You know what, man? I don't want to have any problems, to be honest. I don't want to have any problems with the management. I don't want to have any problems with the security. So,
do you have a list of those buildings?
I do have a list of those buildings.
That's amazing. That's great. That's awesome. And if you wanted a list of those buildings, you can be contacted on 647-400-6252 or info@thecondocorner.ca. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to get in a building where it's not going to give me any problems,
What kind of problems?
Problems like, Tony, share some of your problems, bro.
I got fined by my condo corp. The security guard at my building was like RoboCop. He was like, would pay attention to which. So nowadays the fobs that you use to get into your buildings are connected to the concierge's system. So if the fob belonging to 3912, it's always a different person coming every week with suitcases and flight attendants showing up. And, you know what I mean? They catch on.
Yeah.
So in my condominium corporation, in the status certificate, the declaration says that we're not allowed short-term rentals in my thing. So I ended up getting fined. They warned me once, slap on the wrist, warned me twice. Yeah, that was my experience. It was very lucrative, but it was also very annoying because my concierge would call me. And
that's what I want to avoid, man. I don't want to deal with all that stuff. I want something that's, anything that you expect to have any sort of return, you have to put in some time and effort. So I understand there's no such thing as purchasing something or getting something for nothing. We have to put something. We have to put in our effort. So I understand that, but I want my efforts to be as least not problematic.
Cumbersome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to have to meet people. I know there's going to be things that are going to break in the unit. Mm-hmm. I know that there's going to be times where somebody's locked out at 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? I personally don't want to deal with it. I'm going to find somebody to manage, at the times that I'm not there. But I'm actually, you know who I'm buying the unit with, right?
I was actually just going to ask you, are you buying this on your own, or are you buying... I do know everything, really.
I know you.
I was... Yeah, yeah.
I know you know everything. I'm actually helping my little cousins out, man.
It's a joint venture, right?
Yeah, it's a joint venture. I mean, I don't want to say, I'm sorry. I'm not helping them out, but you know,
Yeah. You're going to do this together.
we're going to do this together,
Yeah.
you know? I'm taking the lead on it.
That's good.
Three of them, they're all under 30.
Okay.
You know them all.
Yeah.
I think 26, 27, 28.
Yeah.
You know, all three of them saved up a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
They saved up a little bit of money. They have about, I don't know, 30, 40K, something like that each.
Yeah.
So I'll match whatever they put in. And yeah, man, I'm going to help them get their foot in the door of ownership. You know how difficult it is now, you know, if we want to get our foot in the door, I mean, we own properties already, right? And if we want to get our foot in the door, we're looking at minimum 20% down payment. 20% down payment of the purchase price. What's the average purchase price right now in the city? For condos, I'm talking about. Just GTA in general. What is it, like 600,
I think we're creeping up now into the sevens.
700?
Yeah.
So 20% of 700,000, how much is that?
140.
$140,000. Who the hell has $140,000 kicking around, man?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Unless you have a property already where it's coming from.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or you're getting help from Bank of Mom and Dad.
Or you're getting help from Bank of Mom and Dad, or you're doing a joint venture with your friends or your family, people who you trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, it's going to be us four. So they'll be involved in the process as much as I can, you know, as much as they can be involved. I wish somebody, you know, showed me when I was in my early 20s what to do and how to navigate through these murky waters of the unknown. You know what I mean?
Especially when we were 20. I mean,
Yeah, bro.
gosh, it seems like eons ago. But no, I mean, it was even the approval process was easier. Values were cheaper. Interest rates were higher, but I mean,
Interest rates were nothing, bro.
they were at prices that were still manageable.
So a 3 or 4% interest rate back then. What's back then? What's back then? 15 years?
15 years ago?
15 years ago, interest rate back then were like 3% or something?
No,
4%?
Five, yeah,
5%?
between 4 and 5.
But the average purchase price for, I remember when a good friend of mine bought a unit at, what is it called? You said it earlier today, Navy
Water
Wharf?
Park City?
Mariner Terrace.
Mariner Terrace.
City Place, the old City Place. He bought a 1+ den with parking there for $340K. Now those units are like 750,000. So you're right. Even though the interest rates were just a slightly higher, the purchase price was lower. But anyway, regardless, want to help them get their foot in the door. You know what I mean? Also, I want to buy property too. I love to buy property. You know what I mean? I love to own property. I don't want to say I love property, but I understand it. I know it. I know what I could do with it. You know what I mean?
I do.
In order to start creating any sort of wealth, we need to have an asset. And I mean, what higher asset class is there other than property? Anyway, yeah, man. I'm thinking downtown Toronto somewhere, or Park Lawn and Lakeshore.
Humber Bay Shores.
Humber Bay Shores,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, by the
Sure.
water. Or in City Center, Mississauga.
Okay.
I really like Mississauga.
There's some opportunity there right
There's
now.
a lot of opportunity there, man. Mississauga is growing. And I mean, like, I love the city too. Like, I love that city as well. Like, I have a lot of friends that live in the West End. My family lives in the West End, in the Mississauga area. I've been going to Square One since we were kids. You know what I mean? Have you been Square One?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like a lot?
I've been to Square One, second largest mall in Canada.
Is there really?
It is.
The man and we're laughing.
What?
Off
It's so
camera.
funny.
Is it really?
It is.
You're from the East End, right?
Well, I've been
right?
around.
Richmond Hill?
Sorry?
Markham, right?
I grew up in Markham, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, raised in Markham. Born in Scarborough, born in Toronto, North York General.
Nice.
Grew up in Markham, spent some time in Waterloo, a couple of years.
Did you?
Yeah.
How long did you go to Waterloo for?
I was there for 2 years. I was collecting unemployment. I was 23 years old. I was collecting unemployment,
Really?
okay, because I was let go from Future Shop.
Okay.
I was working cash for my uncle in a shawarma place.
Wow.
And I was working cash for my uncle in a convenience store. I was making more money than I'd ever made in my life you know,
Yeah.
at this time.
Yeah.
And my uncle's asking me to commit to him, you know, for the rest, like, you know, for, I don't know, an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, uncle, let me, listen, my friends are going to Europe. Let me go with them. I want to go and have fun, have a good time. I'll come back and I'll give you my decision. You know, it's most likely yes. But I wanted, before I sign up for this life of convenience store, you know, I want to go have a good time.
Yeah.
So I went to Europe and we started in Cyprus. And then from Cyprus, we flew to Athens. And from Athens, we were flying to an island called Rhodos.
Yeah.
Now, on this flight, it happened to be delayed. And I was wearing a Carmelo Anthony jersey.
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
And I'm putting my bag in my stowaway up top.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I hear someone from first class saying, "Hey, Anthony." I'm on a plane in Athens, Greece. Who knows me here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I turn around and there's this old man. He's like, "Hey, Anthony." How do you know my name? He's like, "No, your jersey." I was like, "Oh, no way."
That's so funny.
Anyway, he starts talking to us. He hears my accent. He's like, "Are you American?" "No, I'm Canadian." "Oh, you know, I studied in Calgary. My son goes to McGill." "Oh, my sister's in McGill." They happen to be in the same law school.
Which sister?
Natalie.
Oh, nice.
They were in, like, she happened to be in the same law school grade as his son. Anyway, the man turns out to be the chief geophysicist for Aramco Oil.
Wow.
Look,
Aramco.
Aramco Oil
So
in Saudi
Aramco
Arabia.
is the biggest privately held company, something like that, right?
Loaded.
Yeah. Chief geologist.
Anyway, I meet this guy on a plane. We sit there, we're talking. I'm telling him, you know, my plans on my life. And he tells me, you know, "Anthony, if you go work at this convenience store, your life is over." You know what I mean? Like, if you enjoyed working at Future Shop, you enjoyed sales, go big or go home.
Wow.
You know, like, why not go get your real estate license? It's the biggest asset you can sell. You know?
Wow.
Go, you know? And to this day, I call him the Greek god of vacation.
That's
Panos Kalimis.
you're so funny.
So yeah, and then that's basically, I came home, I told my uncle I wasn't going to do it. I signed up for my real estate license right away, and by 2007, I was licensed. What made you get into real estate, Imran?
You know what, man? I have no prerequisites, meaning like I have no post-secondary education. You know what I mean? What society has taught us, or not taught us, put into our minds, and, you know, our parents as well, our immigrant parents as well, you know, education. So education is important, you know, but it depends on what kind of education you get, depends on how far you'll go, you know what I mean? So self-education will open everything for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got into real estate, man, because I don't have a formal education. And I didn't want... It's not that I wanted to be my own boss and flexible hours, and not because of that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want any limit put onto me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I want to live with no ceilings. And just like how you said, like entrepreneurship, you know what I mean? And I wanted to, like, I'm good at sales. You know what I mean? I'm great at sales, or I'm good at sales, whatever. And what's the highest asset class that you could sell? It's property, right? So I was young too, man. I got licensed in 2007, just like you. I got licensed in February 2007, actually.
Okay, it's not a competition. Whatever. I mean, it's okay.
When did you get licensed? Which
August 2007.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got licensed February 2007. I was 23, I think, at that time.
Yeah.
I was 23 when I got licensed, and I would say it took me about 4 years, almost, to actually be like, yeah, you know what, I want this. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It took me that amount of time, you know what I mean? My first deal was actually a listing. Was a listing for a property in Mississauga. I think it was a townhouse, and I got it fairly quickly after I got licensed. I got it probably within the first month that I was licensed.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know what I was doing, obviously. You know what I mean? I had no clue what I was doing. I wasn't on any team of any sort. We did have a manager at the company that I was at, and he was great too, you know, the guy was great, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was nervous. I was young. I didn't even own any property, and I'm selling one. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
a lot of mental tricks in your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't say it was a quick or easy sale, you know. I remember it selling, and I don't remember any major hiccups. I think the stove stopped working after the new people moved in. But other than that, I can't really remember much more. And then I did a rental listing, actually. I listed a unit at Marilyn Monroe. Absolute Towers.
Yeah.
I listed a unit there when Marilyn Monroe was brand new. Like nobody lived in the unit. It
Wow.
was brand new, yeah. And I remember going to Home Depot and buying a lockbox. Like, you know what I mean? It's my first time dealing with a lockbox, and you know what I mean? So those were my first deals. What was your first deal?
First deal I ever did was the condo I bought.
The one on Grand Trunk?
Yeah, the
really?
pre-construction condo that I bought.
Wow.
I bought pre-construction
you had
condo.
no idea what you were doing.
Dude, I just listened to my uncle. My uncle's like, "Yo, we bought a condo in this building. You should go and buy one."
They bought one there too?
They bought one there too.
Wow.
But they bought it the platinum stage. I bought like months afterwards.
What was your deposit like?
$50K.
That's it?
That's it.
Was it?
Platinum stage. Yeah, they bought in first access. They bought first access. It's crazy. If I look at Geo Warehouse now, I bought a unit on the 39th floor for $427,900. And the guy who bought on the 38th floor, one floor below me, bought for $365,000, like $80,000.
Wow.
$60,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now imagine during the time you're like, no, this place went up $60,000 and you walked away from it. What is it worth right now?
Well, it's worth almost like $750,000.
$750,000.
It was definitely a good. It was
It was
a
a
good move.
great move. Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah, it was a great move. I mean, real estate over the long term is always a great move. We were fortunate enough to be mentored by the same person. You know what I mean? Simon. And I remember Simon used to say this all the time, that there's no such thing as overpaying in real estate. You know what I mean? You can't overpay in real estate.
Well, as long as if you have the long term in mind.
If you have the long term in mind, exactly. There's no such thing as overpaying, man. So, well, that was a great move. That's like something that I wish I did a lot earlier in life as well. Actually, I got my first property when I turned, I think I was 21 or 22.
Yeah, you did.
I got my first property.
Before you were licensed.
I got it before I was licensed, so I really didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you sold it before you were licensed too.
No. I sold it while I was licensed.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I didn't hold on to it long enough. I was very young at the time when I bought it as well. It was actually the house that I grew up in Rexdale. I bought it off my dad. You know what I mean? So I bought it off my dad and I became a landlord. I was 21, 22 years old. I was a landlord, top and bottom of the house. Like imagine that detached house in Rexdale, finished basement, side entrance, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, in Rexdale right now, there's like 10, 15 houses for sale. That's it. In all of Rexdale. And everything that's coming up on the market right now is selling in multiple offers over there. It's nuts. Like, anyway, I had this asset, I had this house, and the house, it started to get into a state of disrepair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it needed money to get updated and whatnot. And instead of keeping the house, holding the house, and I didn't have much money at the time. I would have had to borrow money from family and my dad, whatever.
Yeah.
But I had too much pride. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to ask him.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, stupid me, you know what I mean? Like, get pride out of your head. Pride is such a stupid concept, Because of my pride, I ended up selling the house. The tenants, once the house became empty, I ended up selling the house. And if I held on to the house now, I probably would not have a mortgage on it, and the house would be worth about $1 million. And I sold it when I was 25, I think. Detached house.
Yeah.
Right?
In Rexdale.
Detached house, Rexdale, 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
Finished basement.
Yeah.
2 bedrooms in the basement, by the way.
Okay.
I sold it for $300,000. Right now, that detached house is worth $1 million.
Yeah.
But not only that, while I had the house, it was cash flowing.
That's why you drink so much now.
It was cash flowing. I was making, well, the basement wasn't rented for a little bit of time. Again, it was in disrepair. I had to repair the basement up or one of the washrooms. So I had the basement sitting empty for a few months. But if the basement was rented as the top was rented, I probably would have been bringing in, at that time, 15, 13 years ago, whatever, 14 years ago, I would have been bringing in like $600-700 a month.
From the basement.
Yeah, like total, like
Yeah.
In my pocket,
Oh, I get it.
positive
Cash flow.
cash flow.
Yeah.
$600-700 a month. That's about $1,200 today. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But as time went on, my mortgage would have gotten less,
Yeah.
and I could rent the top out now for $2,500. The basement I could probably rent out today if I still had it $1,500, whatever it is. That's a significant.
Yeah.
That's a great lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
To never let go of property. You know what I mean?
Expensive lesson, for
It's
sure.
it's a super expensive lesson, man. So
So now you're trying to teach your cousins.
now I'm trying to teach my cousins.
So that's great, man. That's amazing. That's so what's the first step?
The first step is
How are you gonna help them?
it's a commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not a stock.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You don't just put your money in there and you just leave it. I mean, I'm talking about we're gonna be doing my mindset is to Airbnb the place up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there's still a little bit of management involved. You know what I mean? Things go, like I said, things need repair. Like you tell me, what were the biggest things that you had to deal with other than your concierge and the property management? Like,
Cleaning. Yeah, I mean, if you want to maximize your return on your Airbnb, you need to be flexible.
What do you mean?
Like literally, like my Airbnb would be vacant for 2 days.
Yeah.
Someone would book it the same day. Like I had somebody coming in on Friday. It's Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday's open. Somebody wanted it Wednesday night. They're booking it Wednesday afternoon. If I didn't clean it on Tuesday and the place isn't ready on Wednesday, if I didn't have it clean, then I couldn't get that income for that night, that day. You know what I mean? So always being ready, being prepared for the next person, because you never know when it's going to happen. Especially if you're in a location like Air Canada Centre, ACC, you have like tourists coming in for the day, right? So it was like a hotel.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's when I was most lucrative, was when I was available. You know, so what I found was difficult, challenging, was having a reliable cleaning person. So that's where I was found challenging. Also, the guests are stupid.
No, bro, don't say this.
The guests are so dumb.
You can't say this,
people.
bro.
Yes, I can.
You
I'm gonna
can't
say it.
this,
I'm
bro.
gonna say it. This is
No,
the people. I write the
guys.
instructions.
Yes.
Do not speak to the concierge. Do not speak to the concierge. What do? They go up with their suitcases. I'm here for an Airbnb. What? Don't speak to the concierge. What part of that don't you understand?
Maybe they were from a different part of Ontario.
Oh God, I had one guest called me and was crying because the security guard accosted her.
Yeah, you told me about this the other day.
She's crying. She wrote a bad review for me on Airbnb.
Were you a super host or a super guest?
I was a
or whatever?
super host.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was a super host.
You off.
Yeah. I was a super host.
How many stars or what is it? Stars?
I don't remember at the time. To be honest, okay, so I managed it for 1 year and it was working really well. It was really good. But then
What do you mean managed?
The worst is when you meet them to exchange the keys. They tell you that they're going to be there at 2:00. They're driving in from Chicago. They're going to be there at 2:00. You go there at 2:00. They don't call you to tell you that they're 2 hours late.
Wow.
They don't call you to tell you that they're 3 hours late. You call them, they're not answering. You call Airbnb. Airbnb tries to call them, they're not answering. You have to follow the policy. Airbnb being a condo downtown Toronto is a full-time job.
You have to get like toilet paper every single time.
Yeah,
and
toilet paper, towels, fresh towels.
buy or just what do you mean wash?
They have to be washed.
I mean obviously wash,
the
but like
time.
do you mean you have to like buy every once in a while?
I'd
or?
buy once in a while. I would buy once in a while, yeah. To be honest, when I hired a company to manage it for me, they are the ones who got me fined.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they had so many of them that they stopped giving it the attention it needed because
But
it
like,
needs attention.
You you hired a company, an actual company that does.
Correct. Yeah.
Airbnb
manages
rentals.
Airbnb units downtown Toronto.
I don't want to do that.
What do you want to do?
I want to have a cleaning company or a cleaning person
Okay.
or cleaning people, and
Okay.
that's all I'm thinking. Like, what else?
What do you mean?
To give keys and the little, ins and outs like that. I got 3 other people who are in this together
Yeah.
with me. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what do? We leverage each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great if you can. It's 4 people is
4 people is a lot.
hard to manage.
It's hard to. What do you mean?
Opportunities for one person to feel like they're carrying the most burden out of it.
So,
You know what I mean?
so agreed. That only happens when there's no person who's leading the group or the pack.
Okay.
You can't have 4 people who are expecting to all lead. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to have one head, like one person speaking, the speaker or whatever.
It's a very lucrative investment. It's definitely worth looking at. It's just
And
not a
what's
walk
the
in the
worst?
park. I don't want to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
100%. I completely understand that. I know that as well. It's not a walk in the park at
Yeah.
all. And you know what? Worst comes to worst, or if it's too much to deal with,
You
or
rent
too
it
much-
out the long term.
Rent it out long
That's
term.
what we did.
Your unit right now?
Now it's rented out long term, furnished.
You have it rented out furnished?
Yeah, 1 year, like on a yearly basis.
How much you have it rented for?
I had it pre-COVID rented for $2,800.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, but then when COVID hit, rents went down, so they asked for a reduction. I gave them a reduction. They've
How
been
much?
$300.
$2,500.
It's $2,500
That's
right
not
now.
bad, man. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
How much could you? How much would you have? Like, how much can you get without it being furnished? Right now,
Right now, rents have
20
bounced back.
23,
I don't know. Maybe 23, 24.
$2,400. Mm-hmm. So almost this. You think almost the same as furnished?
Well, furnished now would be 26, 27.
Got it. But
what
they've
I mean?
been there for a long time, though, right?
They have. They
How
have.
long?
All throughout COVID, man. They've been there since November of 2000.
Yeah. To be honest,
19.
I wouldn't even touch. Leave it.
Yeah.
Let them.
Oh, I haven't even raised. Not that we could. I haven't raised rent on them since I
good.
dropped it.
I wouldn't raise. I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
It's priceless to have a great tenant. You
But
know
now
what
I need
mean?
to buy a washing machine, a washer dryer, because apparently they're getting marks on their clothes.
What about pre-con? What do you think about pre-con?
I still think that there's opportunity in pre-con. You just got to find the right ones.
Like, for real, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself. Like,
I'm serious. I still think there are. It's just now
the prices are so nuts, though, man. The prices are crazy. Bro.
right, and that's what I'm saying is that you really, really need to be careful as to which projects you're buying into, and more importantly, the timing in which you're buying into that project. Like, I cannot stress that enough. The timing in which you're buying into the project, the magic behind pre-construction and condo investment is your construction period. That's the magic. It's the longer the better. That's kind of what I tell my clients. But life, different circumstances arise. People need to buy something in a year. People need to buy something in a year and a half. So it just doesn't fit. Now, not necessarily saying that those are bad times to buy, because more often than not, and Imran, you can tell me that this is correct, developers will have incentives, after the platinum launch. They'll have different incentives, different deposit structures, different criteria that make this a good investment.
I purchased a pre-construction unit with a friend.
Another joint venture.
Another joint venture. I love joint ventures. But I bought a unit, or we bought a unit in Mississauga, here in Ontario and Burnham Thorpe at Edge Tower. You know about this. You know the story too. Mm-hmm. We bought a 1-bedroom with parking and locker for $370,000.
Okay.
I think the unit is just under 500 square feet.
Okay.
Bought it in 2018. And that was not on the initial release of the project. I purchased that unit I purchased that unit at the tail end of that project selling. That unit now, 500 square feet, 5-minute walk to square one. How much do you think right now?
500,000?
500,000.
Yeah.
On the low end.
You did well. You did really well.
Really well.
Now, if you didn't have the connections you had at the time, would you be able to have secured that unit?
It's not.
Look,
hold on. I don't think it. Sorry, but I don't think that had to do with connections, knowing anybody or whatever. It was more so if I didn't have the knowledge of that project.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right. Because at one point,
Yeah.
that project you bought in had already launched.
And I didn't have knowledge of the project.
Prices
at the
were lower.
time. Yeah.
Prices were lower, but
Yeah.
this unit wasn't available.
Yeah.
The developer kept it in his pocket.
Yes. And then he offered parking with it afterwards.
And then he offered parking with it
Yeah.
after. So it made sense to you to buy. It was
At
a
that
good
time.
investment at that time.
And that and
So I'm not saying that platinum stage is the only time you should be buying pre-construction. So many times throughout the construction period, the developer will come out with great incentives, have a new release, have a new hot list, units we've never seen before that may suit your needs better than what was available at the launch time.
You know what, bro? Do you feel like the new first-time buyer has shifted from resale to pre-construction?
100%. Absolutely. You can definitely see it in the sales offices. We see it in the data, in the numbers of pre-con units being sold. We keep breaking records. 2021 was the second highest number of pre-construction condos ever sold in the history of Toronto.
Really?
History of GTA.
Really?
2021.
Wow.
The second highest number of pre-construction. So what does that tell you? Pre-construction units were sold in 2021. They take 3 to 5 years to be built.
Yeah.
So there's this inventory isn't coming to market until at least
2025, 2026.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well after these 1.2 million Canadians are going to be coming into, immigrating into the country.
Yeah. Wow.
See what I'm saying? And one thing that I've noticed as well with pre-construction condos versus resale is especially after the pandemic, because I would say condos, and correct me if I'm wrong, but condos were the only property type to be hit by the pandemic. And it only hit in the beginning because, nobody really knew what this virus was and no one wanted to walk down a hallway and see someone else who could possibly kill them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was going to the bank with 2 pairs of gloves on because I didn't know what was going on.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
You know what I mean?
Were you?
I was.
2 pairs?
March of 2020? March of 2020?
Oh man, yeah, I know. I went to the grocery store with gloves on, but not 2 pairs though.
Think about it. So all Airbnbs were shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those Airbnbs, all those owners went on the rental market.
Oh man, the rental market wasn't.
They all went on the rental market.
The rental market was shook last.
Anybody who lives in a 1-bedroom condo,
yeah,
they can't go visit their friends.
Yeah,
they're moving back home with their parents so that they don't have to live alone.
Yes.
Or I'm moving into a 2-bedroom condo, so I have a roommate. At least I don't have to talk to the walls.
Or I'm moving to, I don't know, Ajax.
Yeah,
some house.
So it's no denial the condo market got hit in 2020. Now, as it bounces back, freehold purchasers were frustrated with the bidding wars and they came into the pre-construction market. We've seen that pre-construction condo prices and resale condo prices, the spread has never been bigger.
Yeah, true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
You can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you buy into a project without enough time before closing.
Got it. Okay, I understand.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The magic behind the pre-construction condo investment is the time that you have before closing. Yeah. It's the time that you're invested into the real estate market without having to pay any interest on a mortgage, without having to deal with the headaches of being a landlord.
You're good, bro. I feel like buying when I talk to this guy. I feel like buying still. Yeah.
I say this all the time. It's not, it's not like you can walk into any sales office in the GTA and do well on a pre-construction investment. You got to be careful, what you're buying.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to pick up a pre-construction unit this year.
As well?
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel this sense of urgency.
Well, look, that's great.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you said it in the beginning that you just don't want to over leverage because you don't have other properties that are closing.
Exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Listen, like it's like getting a tattoo. It's addictive.
It's addictive.
The real estate market is addictive.
Yeah.
Especially when you're performing well like this, right? So
Yeah.
there were some pockets in the GTA, and please stop me when I'm wrong, that went up 25% last year.
Yeah, bro.
25% last year.
In the GTA.
In the GTA. They call me the numbers guy. If someone bought $1 million property in 2020 and in 2021 by 2020 it went up 25%, how much did they make?
They bought it for how much?
$1 million. What's 25%?
250K.
That property is worth $1,250,000
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So they bought a property in 2020, and in a year it went up $250,000.
That's nuts.
Okay, divide that number
nuts.
by 365 days in a year.
Oh, bro, that's too
It's $650 a night.
Wow.
Every
Airbnb.
night.
Airbnb.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Every night you went to sleep. Every night you went to sleep, you made $650 just by buying that house.
You know what I want, man? You know what money can purchase? You know what money buys you? Money buys you time. And that's what I want, man. I want time. I don't care for material items, or I don't care for that stuff. You know what I mean? I want time. And that time that I want is to be able to do things like this.
Yeah.
You know, sit with my friends, you know what I mean? Hang out with my family, just do what I want to do with the people that I care about. You know what I mean? Cultivate my relationship. I want time, and money buys us time. You know what I mean? And if I spend my time trying to make money, then I can't do the things that I enjoy. You know what I mean? So I want my assets to bring me that $650 a day.
That guy who bought in a pocket that went up 25%, he got lucky.
Yeah.
You know, it's good timing.
Yeah,
let's
I mean,
say. You know what I mean?
He got lucky. He didn't time the market.
No,
He
he had to buy something. Everybody and their mother was talking about how hot the real estate market was. He ignored the market, the doomsday predictors.
Yeah,
He ignored
yeah.
the market bubble
He
predictors.
did what he had to do.
And he did what he had to do, and he got in. He took action, and he got in. I would love to make money in my sleep. I'm sure you would love to make money in your sleep.
That's so funny. I'm gonna have another drink. I'm gonna make another drink.
Thank you for attending another episode of Coffee and Cognac.
Thank you, guys.
I hope to see you guys next time. And please don't hesitate to reach out and ask us any questions, and so we can cover topics that are relevant to you. And say
Thank
bye.
you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nikki off camera. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Again.
Cheers.
Thank you.